True. Nervous. Very, very dreadfully nervous I had been and am. Why would you say that I'm mad? The disease had sharpened my senses, not destroyed them, not dulled them. Above all was the sense of hearing acute. I heard all things in heaven and in the earth. I heard many things in hell. How then am I mad? Hearken and observe how healthily, how calmly I can tell you the whole story. It is impossible to say how first the idea entered my brain, but once conceived, it haunted me day and night. Object there was none, passion there was none. I loved the old man. He had never wronged me, he had never given me insults. For his gold I had no desire. I think it was his eye. Yes, it was this. He had the eye of a vulture, a pale blue eye with a film over it. Whenever it fell upon me, my blood ran cold, and so by degrees, very gradually, I made up my mind to take the life of the old man and thus rid myself of the eye forever. Now, this is the point. You fancy me mad. Madmen know nothing. You should have seen me. You should have seen how wisely I proceeded, with what caution, with what foresight, with what dissimulation I went to work. I was never kinder to the old man than during the whole week before I killed him. And then every night, just at midnight, I'd open the latch of his door gently, oh so gently. And then, when I had made an opening sufficient enough for my head, I'd put in a dark lantern, close, all close, so that no light shone out. And then I thrust my head in. You'd have laughed to see how cunningly I thrust it in. I moved it slowly, very, very slowly, so that you see, I might not disturb the old man's sleep. It almost took me an hour to place my whole head within the opening so far that I could look upon him as he lay on his bed. Would a madman have been so wise as this? And then, when I had placed my head well within the room, I undid the lantern. Cautiously, so very cautiously, the hinges creaked. I undid it just so much that a simple dim ray fell upon the vulture eye. I did this for 7 long nights, every night, just at midnight. But I found the eye always closed, and hence it was impossible to do the work, for it was not the old man that vexed me, but his evil eye. And then every morning, as the day broke, I entered into his chamber courageously and spoke to him, calling him by his name, speaking to him in a hearty tone, and inquiring how he passed the night. So you see, he would have been a very profound old man indeed, to suspect that every night, just at midnight, I looked upon him as he slept. And when I had waited for a long time, very patiently, without hearing him lie down, I resolved to open the lantern, to open a little, very little crevice in the lantern. Cannot imagine how stealthily until a single dim ray, like the thread of the spider, shot from out the crevice of the lantern and fell upon the vulture eye. It was open, wide, wide open, and I grew furious as I gazed upon it. I saw it with perfect distinctness, all the dull blue, with a hideous veil over it that chilled the very marrow in my bones. But I could see nothing else of the old man's face or person, for I had directed the ray, as if by instinct, precisely upon that damned spot. And have I not told you, what you mistake for madness is nothing but over acuteness of the sense? Now, I say they came to me, to my ears, a low, dull, quick sound, such as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. Yes, I knew that sound well too. It was the beating of the old man's heart. It increased my fury. It increased my fury just like the beating of the drums stimulate the soldier into courage. But even then, I refrained and kept still. I scarcely breathed. I held the lantern motionless, and I tried how steadily I could maintain the ray upon the eye. In the meantime, the hellish tattoo of the heart increased, grew louder and louder, quicker and quicker every moment. The old man's terror must have been extreme. Grew louder and louder. Do you mark me well? I've told you I'm nervous. And so am I. Now, at the dead hour of the night, amid the dreadful silence of that old house, a sound so strange as this, it excited me to uncontrollable terror. But even then, for some minutes longer, I refrained. I stood still. The beating grew louder and louder. I thought the old man's heart must burst. And now a new anxiety seized upon me. The sound could be heard by a neighbor. The old man's hour had come. I threw open the lantern and I leaped into the room. He shrieked once, only once. In an instant, I dragged him to the floor and I pulled a heavy bed over him. And I smiled. I smiled gaily to find the deed so far done. But even then, the heart beat on with a muffled sound. This, however, did not vex me. You see, the sound would now be not heard through the walls. But at length it ceased. I removed the bed. I examined the corpse, yes. He was stone dead. I placed my hand on his heart and I held that for a couple of minutes. There was no pulsation. He was stone dead. And now the eye would trouble me no more.